You've got last-minute guests arriving any moment. Or maybe your sweet tooth is attacking and you just need something delicious now. And even a rare case, I know, but you've got some leftover wine and you don't know what to do with it. The solution to all of these problems, un bel sambaiun, or Zabaglione. Hi there, I'm Jacqueline for Vero, and we go around the world searching out wild and scarce wines that are hard to find in the US to bring to wine lovers and wine businesses alike all over the country. And while we think these wines are best enjoyed in the glass, sometimes we like to play cooking with them. For those of you that are fans of the channel, in fact you may have subscribed here on YouTube or to our newsletter on verovino.com, you may already know that while I'm a native Californian, I have actually lived in the Langhe in Piedmont, Italy for over 10 years, working in a local family-run restaurant, Trattoria Risorgimento. And it was there that I learned how to make Zabaglione. And to be honest, I kind of had to work on this recipe because in the kitchen, we would just eyeball everything. So it took me a moment to weigh out the ingredients and figure out just how much to use. So our Zabaglione is going to be made with 3 simple ingredients, some of which you most likely have in your cupboard. First are going to be egg yolks, then we have white sugar, and lastly, your liquor or wine. Today, we are going to be using Aldo Clerico's Langhe nebbiolo. But traditionally, Zabaglione is commonly made with marsala or moscate d'asti. These 3 ingredients, the wine, sugar, and egg yolks, will be cooked over a double boiler, and it can be enjoyed in so many ways, either on its own as a custard, or serve it over gelato like a sauce, or with a cake, or even to dip cookies in. All right, so let's get started. First things first, I've already weighed out my ingredients here, but you can find the recipe on the blog on verovino.com. I'll link it down below. First thing, we're adding our 2 egg yolks. There we go. And our white sugar. This is just plain granulated sugar. And I'm just gonna whisk these together so they get nice and well amalgamated. And you know, this recipe always reminds me that while I was in the kitchen, I actually learned not only Italian, but I actually learned a fair amount of local dialect, or Piemontese. You see, Italy has a lot of local dialects that are very different from each other throughout the country. So for example, in Piemontese, when we have apple, is mela in Italian and pum in Piemontese. All right, so now we've got these nice and amalgamated together. So we're gonna take our wine of choice, in this case, my Langhe nebbiolo, Aldo Clerico, and I'm just gonna dose it out with my heart. But like I said, there's a recipe on verovino.com. All right. Again, we're just gonna mix this nice together, perfect. And we're gonna bring our water up to a boil now. While that boils, in Trattoria Risorgimento, we often would make this with a moscate d'asti, but Elisa and Joelle, chefs at Trattoria Risorgimento, would sometimes use the dry red wine of the local winemakers to make this dessert. And I think it comes out quite delicious too. And it gives this dish that you can find all over Italy a little bit of a Piemontese twist. All right, I've got a nice rolling boil here, so we're gonna use this pot as a kind of makeshift double boiler. But while I'm cooking it, just gonna whisk continuously. You don't ever want it to stop whisking, otherwise your egg will curdle. But while I'm doing this, let's get back to the discussion of dialect. You see, Zabaglione is the Italian name for this dessert, but in Piemontese, we call it sambaiun, and the wine is not nebbiolo, but rather nebbiolo. And this nebbiolo, you wouldn't drink it out of a glass, or bicchiere in Italian. No, you drink it out of a bicchiere, and it would be poured out of a buta, or bottiglia, or bottle. And you know, it's really this dialect that I have just come to love so much because it's so authentic. And of course, I am forgetting the most traditional of all Piemontese phrases, boia faus. I think it means literally false executioner, but it's a phrase that's used as an exclamation, like, oh my gosh. For example, boia faus, sto vin è proprio buone. Or, wow, this wine is really good. The ne is also a hallmark that you'll see a lot in the Piemontese language. All right, now that we've learned a little bit of Piemontese, you can use it the next time you travel to Italy. Looks like that this is cooked. We're looking for it to firm up, get nice and foamy, and there it is. Looks great. Let's plate it. So this way, with the nebbiolo, our Zabaglione, or sambaiun, breaks on a really nice, pretty, kind of rosy violet color, which is beautiful. But let's go in for a taste test. Proprio buone. Well, thanks again to Trattoria Risorgimento for this recipe, which, like I said earlier, you can find on our website on the Vero blog at verovino.com, linked below. In that same article, you can find a lot of the Piemontese that I was using here today, and even more if you would really like to learn some Piemontese to try out when you travel to Italy, or to just impress some friends at home during your next Italian night. As well, this great nebbiolo that we used tonight, as well as some fantastic Barolos and many other small producers' wild and scarce wines, you can find on verovino.com in the Vero shop, ready for purchase. Pick yourself up a bottle, gift it to a friend, or if you work in the wine industry, contact us for special pricing. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for joining me. Leave a like down below if you learned something, and let us know in the comments, do you know any other Italian dialect words? Whether that be in Piemontese or in another one like Napoletano or Siciliano. In the meantime, I'm going to enjoy this and this. And if you're looking for another great recipe to try with a wine pairing, you can check out this video here, where I made another recipe from Trattoria Risorgimento, an eggplant appetizer. I'll see you over there. Bye.